Hi, this is Tim Brothers, Observatory Manager at MIT's Wallace Astrophysical Observatory. Welcome to the March 2023 edition of 12409 What's Up. Winter 2023 has not been the most ideal observing season. This year in particular, we are having a lot of late winter storms, but they shouldn't last for too much longer with spring around the corner on the 20th. Don't forget, daylight savings time is on the 12th this year at 2 a.m. We highly suggest you strategize your observations. I recommend using a free app such as Stellarium to plan your observations. You can note the rise times, the set times, the altitude at the time of your observation. It can also help you frame your target. In other words, will it fit on your sensor? Another tip, try sketching on a piece of paper or dry erase board, or even use a dry erase marker on your plastic star wheel. Of course, you'll also have to plan around the weather. I find that the National Weather Service is mostly accurate when it comes to predicting the adversary of celestial viewings, clouds. Plan ahead by as much as 3 or 4 days ahead of time. If the clouds are well below 50%, you have a shot at seeing your target. Greater than that, it's probably not worth your time unless it's a once-in-a-several-year event. Orientation. Use your plastic star wheel to locate bright stars and orient yourself to find dimmer objects. Use your hands to locate objects, especially useful for conjunctions. I highly recommend getting yourself a red light, such as on a headlamp, or one that can clip onto your clipboard. That will make using your equipment easier in the dark without disrupting your night vision. Adapting to the dark. This part I cannot stress highly enough. It is very important that you turn off any unnecessary lights and find yourself a dark observing location, potentially off campus. Try hard to not use devices to navigate the sky, particularly your phone or your laptop. Give yourself a good 30 to 45 minutes for your rods to naturally adapt to the darkness, giving you up to 1,000,000 times more sensitivity than what you get during the daytime. Our first major celestial event of March will happen to be on the 1st. It's a Jupiter-Venus conjunction. And by conjunction, I mean that they will appear to the naked eye very close together, in this case only a half-degree separation. This will occur on the 1st, shortly after the sunset at about 6:30 p.m. Another option, besides capturing a city nightscape with the conjunction above it, you could also use a longer focal length, such as a zoom lens, or a small telescope, to zoom in to Jupiter and Venus. You might also find that there's 3 of Jupiter's moons directly above it, Io, Callisto, and Ganymede. You could also try taking a video on your DSLR, and with a long enough focal length, you may be able to spot the cloud bands on Jupiter. While the Great Red Spot is facing Earth on the 1st, you would probably need a larger telescope to see it. The Great Orion Nebula is still the go-to for beginner astrophotographers wishing to capture a nebula. It's available right after dusk. From the 10th to the 25th of March would be ideal to avoid the moon. Next we have Mars. Climbing higher in the sky above Orion, we have Mars above Betelgeuse, Orion's left shoulder. The two are nearly the same magnitude and very similar color, in fact. You can't miss it. If you are using binoculars, you can find several open clusters nearby, including M35, also known as the shoe buckle cluster, about 1 degree to the east. In the springtime, some of the brighter deep sky objects that you can capture happen to be open clusters. The best open cluster, the Beehive, is 3rd magnitude and of the brightest Messier objects in the catalog. It is located in the center of the constellation Cancer, transiting between 8 and 9 p.m. in March. Bright and rich in color, the open cluster is an excellent beginner astrophotography target, featuring about 1,000 stars only 600 light years away. You will need at least 300 millimeters of focal length to resolve the brighter stars from one another. Our final celestial event for March 2023 is the Venus-Moon conjunction on March 24th at 7:45 p.m. Here, you'll find the crescent moon directly above Venus. As a bonus, after dark with a small telescope, you might spot Uranus just to the east of the crescent moon. With enough planning, you may be able to capture all 3 objects in the same image. Next month, the LYRID meteor shower, whose source is Comet Thatcher, will make its annual appearance. This year, it peaks on the night of the 22nd and 23rd of April, after midnight until dawn. The moon won't be a problem this year, but you will need to escape the city's light pollution to see it.